Hi everyone, it's great to be on stage, and this is actually a pretty special week for us as well because we are finally coming out of a super long stealth phase of 8 months. We've had some, let's see, clicker doesn't work? There we go. All right, we had some big successes this week. We have our internal testnet live. We've had the first fundraise finally closed. There's going to be more announcements of that coming soon. And we also are co-developing IBC queries, which is something the entire ecosystem needs together with Strangelove Ventures and the Interchain accounts. However, I want to start off with kind of explaining what the philosophy behind our product is before I really go into the product we're building. So as most of you guys, in the beginning, we all kind of went in for the money, didn't really understand what technology was about. Very quickly went into, wait a minute, this is actually revolutionary. We can really do something with this and build decentralized products that are permissionless. We want to tell everyone about that. We go around our friend groups and we tell them, you know, you should care about this. This is really cool. This is the future. And then we realized that they all have the same questions and have no idea what's going on. So I got to the point that I want to build for those people. And the questions that I have gotten, that most of you have probably gotten, are, okay, why should I even care? I don't understand, you know, I can buy stocks on Robinhood. Why is this decentralized stuff interesting for me? And it's because the end user that is not technical only cares about the value proposition for them and what the product can do for them. They're not passionate about technology, which is something that we all share, but they don't. Then we get questions like, how do I even use this, right? It's super complicated. If I have a wallet, I have to take care of it myself. What are these seed phrases? And it's because we are currently building products for enthusiasts like us and not for people that are using the internet, right? I think Web 2 has showcased that you get to the mainstream aspect the second people stop understanding what kind of technology they're using. For example, no one really understands HTTPS from my friend group. They don't need to. They can still click on a website link. Then we get to the aspect which is a novel question in the crypto space. I don't understand the risk. The risk factors are very unclear in the financial products. So we need to build products that have transparency in the expected responsibility that the user should take care of. We are all used to having a ledger, but users are used to calling a hotline from their bank if they do a wrong transaction, right? So we need to be clear about what the user actually has to take care of. Also, the last point, which is the very obvious one, it's all very complicated. If we look at products like Curve Finance, I think that apart from maybe 10,000 people globally, no one really feels comfortable using it. It's not a product built for a true decentralized group and community. So I want to showcase that there's a very clear aspect when it comes to how much trust do you delegate to the platform you're using, or how little do you delegate to the platform you're using, and then how easy is the platform to use. Now, on the bottom left corner, we have obviously products like Linux. Now, you're all going to argue that it's easy to use, because again, we are the enthusiast group. But there's a reason that Linux never broke through the mainstream, because the end user finds it overly complicated. There's a reason that Apple did. But ironically, Apple did because you just delegate your entire trust to the ecosystem. You trust them with your cloud storage, you trust them with your products, you trust them with the feature sets they're developing, you trust them with everything. But that makes it an easy product to use. Now, it goes without saying that we need to go to the bottom right corner in the crypto space. And it's a very hard road. There's only, I would say Android kind of gets close to that direction. Apart from the United States, it's definitely super mainstream, even though it is open source to some degree. In the capital side of things, we also have a clear line when it comes to exclusivity of financial products that people can invest into and how profitable they are. Or I would say how likely it is that they're going to fail or how unlikely it is they're going to fail. Again, on the bottom left, we have the products that everybody can buy with one click on Robinhood, S&P 500, some index strategies, ETFs. And then on the top right, we have family offices and private hedge funds that have access to a lot of financial products that no one else has. But they're also super exclusive. And the reason that they want exclusivity is because if you have a group of people that know what they're doing, they want to do it for a big amount of capital. They want to have a direct upside in the work they put in. So we need, again, to be on the bottom right corner. And we need to build products in the DeFi space that are sustainable and expert-driven in the strategies they're following, So we have active management aspects of people that actually have the expertise to run them. It needs to be incredibly intuitive for the end user to use, otherwise they're just not going to onboard. And needs to be beneficial for the ecosystem and the capital flow within the ecosystem, especially in Cosmos, given how fragmented capital really is. Now, bottom left, we have Year in Finance, which covers two of the aspects, but it's not really intuitive to use, at least not for people, again, that have been in DeFi for quite some time. On the top, you have grayscale funds, so the ETFs, right? It's very easy for users to buy it. It's like any other stock they buy. And it is a sustainable and expert-driven strategy, but there's absolutely no benefit for the DeFi space. On the bottom right, you have Osmosis, which is super easy to use for the end user, at least in the terms of blockchain, and beneficial for the ecosystem. But you're obviously not running, I would say, expert-driven or actively managed strategies, right? So we are trying to be in the middle point. That is what we're trying to achieve with Quasar. So to get to that point, we need to create a symbiosis of the players that are going to be the groups of people that are going to use DeFi in the future. The right side, we obviously already have. We have the degens, right? The Discord shit posters, the Twitter thread readers. We have the people that are really in the DeFi space. They know what they're doing, and we have people among them that spend a lot of time developing strategies for profitability. On the left-hand side, we have the people that we want to get to. We have the non-DeFi investors. We have the people that have never really touched crypto. Maybe they have $20 worth of Bitcoin on Coinbase. And what they can do for the ecosystem is provide capital that is stable because they're not trading in high volumes. And they're generally value investors, which means that they're comfortable with a longer time frame. So the left group can offer predictability, low maintenance, and also stakeholder real decentralized capital for the right group, whereas the right group can offer the expertise, the opportunities, and the active management of the opportunities in the space that we have to offer. And that is why we've designed the Quasar app chain that is going to launch in 2 to 3 months. We are essentially an app chain that's going to host independent vaults, independently governed vaults, running various strategies using IBC. So we're going to connect to any IBC or Interchain account enabled chain. And we're going to allow users to run those strategies, run those vaults, receive upside the same way that Yearn does, so that you really have the benefit of having money come in for the work you're doing. But at the same time, we are also introducing a Cosmos index, which is something that I think is desperately needed, because Cosmos is competing with blockchains in user experience, even though, as we all know, it's an SDK. The end user should never have to know that. They should think it's one chain they're engaging with. Preferably, they shouldn't even know it's a chain. But if they think, hey, look, my smart friends tell me this is the future, Cosmos is going to grow, I want to invest into this, they're going to buy Atom, which doesn't really give them the upside of the ecosystem growth the same way, let's say, buying Ethereum does. So we need to create an index strategy that really showcases the growth of the ecosystem. And we're going to do that in this overly complicated graph, which I'm going to quickly run through. But the main point is the end user essentially single-side deposits a token once. And the user flow for the non-DeFi natives is going to look the following way. They deposit tokens, and they're going to stake into our treasury. The treasury plays an integral part in our Quasar ecosystem because every single vault that is going to be created is going to share parts of its revenue with the treasury. So that is where we host our index. That is where we host the Cosmos index. If you stake into our treasury and we get to a big set of vault strategies that are hosted, you're essentially running the only true index-based strategy in Cosmos with just 2 clicks. At the same time, because we have our own app chain, as Sunny has mentioned before, security is incredibly important for us. And that is why if you stake into our treasury with a token that's not Quasar, we're going to auto-swap it for Quasar and auto-delegate that to validators with the same allocation they had beforehand, so we don't introduce bias. That way, you're automatically securing the network, receiving emissions, and you do all of that with just basically 2 clicks. Now, let's go to the aspect of this that is much more interesting for us, right? The vaults are going to be permissionless. You're going to be able to launch them by yourself or with a team, and you're going to be able to create whatever strategy from complicated to simple staking, whatever you want, on IBC and Interchain account-enabled chains. And the governance is going to be independent because the set of priorities for vaults are not the same as our priority list. We have security as a top priority, we have robustness of the protocol, and then we have the expansion across the IBC ecosystem. The vaults, they should be, number one, profitability. Number two, staying up to date, essentially, so that if exploits happen, they can react quickly. And they should be simple enough for a user to understand what is going on to a certain degree. Now, if this doesn't play, I have screenshots. Let's see if it does. It doesn't. All right. So we have designed the front end. Let's see. All right, there we go. So we have designed the front end to be essentially, people don't really realize it's a blockchain, because they shouldn't. They really shouldn't care that they're engaging with a system with a novel Web3 protocol. They should think, oh look, this is an easy platform to invest into. With the integration of Keplr wallet as well, as we all know, kind of one of the best wallets available in crypto, we're going to get to a seamless user experience that's going to, in the future, get to a point where we can even have a fiat on-ramp, and then users really don't feel anything of the growing pains that we all had to feel managing all of these assets by ourselves. We have an easy user interface again. We have the different treasury and also the different vaults that are going to be showcased all in a pretty easy manner. This might not be very attractive for you because you don't see enough information, but that is kind of the goal, that we can essentially show this product to our parents and feel like they could invest into this. And when it comes to users like our parents, that's also the aspect where Sunny mentioned it in the beginning, insurance. So we are in conversation with a couple of insurance vehicles in the Cosmos ecosystem to make sure that if there's an exploit happening, user funds can be recovered, even if that eats into the yield. I should stress this, that we are never going to be home of the highest yield. That's just not the product we are building. We're building a product for sustainable yield. We're building a product that's going to have the profits of a growing ecosystem, and we're going to allow users to invest into that simply and securely, and we're not going to just pump and dump whatever new liquidity pool comes to Osmosis. Now, that is it with the presentation. If any one of you knows a capable Go and Rust developer, we're currently expanding our team from 7 to around 10 people. We're also looking for a senior DevOps person, and we're looking for an internal auditor or risk manager for supporting the future vaults that are going to be built in our ecosystem. If you are a strategist and you're looking for, you're interested in creating a vault and having upside on the revenue the vault receives, hit me up on Telegram or check out our website, quasar.fi, and I thank you guys a lot for your interest.